let's start with one simple classroom, and based on that, we'll start our discussion. Okay, so since you already have known about the different data collection technique, and you have also used one of those while conducting your project, yes. So based on your understanding regarding the different data collection technique, okay, so I like to give you one classwork. uh, Okay, so please take your 7 minutes time, and you can write, just list the different data collection technique. You have to just list, and which data collection technique did you use in your project and why. Okay, it might be the single data collection technique, or combination of more than one that you have used in your project. Okay, so I'm talking about techniques, and why you choose that particular technique in your project. Okay, so based on your project, you have done your project assignment. Okay, you have already submitted, and first you have to list the different data collection techniques that are mostly used. There are different techniques, but mostly used in our context that we study. Okay, most frequently used data collection technique, and which data collection technique did you use in your project, and why you use that particular data collection technique, or what are the factors that affect for the selection of the data collection. Okay, second part is focusing on that things, and first part is focusing on what are the different data collection technique. Okay, for answer of one, you have to simply list the different data collection technique, and for second you have to explain based on your own experience or knowledge that you have regarding the data collection technique and the selection that you have made in your project. Okay, and then after that we will start our discussion, because uh, there is not so more slide for today. Yes, we discuss about the different data collection technique, and most of them you have already known. Yes, just a revision for you. It will work as a revision for you. Okay, so please do this classwork, and we'll discuss according to the response that you have obtained. Okay, we have obtained one response. Okay.
So,
Yes.
so in question there is which data collection techniques did you use in your project? But we have not done the project yet. So can we write I prefer this kind of data collection technique because
Second semester, you have done your
okay,
project, right?
for second semester.
Yes, based on that. Second semester, I'm focusing on that part. Okay.
So I was a bit late, so I didn't know. So I write for my future data collection or future research project. Okay.
Okay, so you can revise that also. Okay, you can do both way if you are clear regarding your research data collection
But
method.
my answer is same actually.
Okay,
Just past and present is different.
okay, no matter for that. So other, let's hope for other answer also. Okay, we have obtained second answer, two response. Let's see other also, because why I'm asking that second question is you need to able to choose among different data collection technique, right? Though we know that there are different data collection technique that are mostly used for collecting the data in research and project. Okay, so our main concern is which data collection techniques is suitable in your context and why you choose that particular data collection technique. Okay, our main concern is that. So based on your project, is there any logical choice that you have made on this data collection technique? I'm looking for that. Okay, if you are clear on that part, then it will be very easy for you to understand this section. Okay, because according to the necessity of data that you are going to collect in your research, okay, that will be guided by your research question and objective that you have formulated. So based on that, which kind of data collection technique is suitable, that is the one factor. Okay, another is the data research method that we have formulated. That yesterday we have discussed about the different research method, that is the mono method, which is the qualitative and quantitative, and mixed method, which is the combination of qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so based on the requirement of based on the research method that we have selected, also there are different data collection technique that can be used. Okay, so you can provide some logical explanation based on your research question or the method that you have chosen, and that method that you have chosen also will be guided by other factor such as the research strategy, philosophy of the research, and your research question simply. Okay, you can move directly from your research question to the data collection technique also, but it is preferable to move on to the research method, whether it is qualitative and quantitative. Okay, and based on that you can choose the technique. Okay, you can choose the technique for your research. You should be, you should provide the inform, uh, or you should make an informed decision on this data collection technique. Whenever the term inform indicate that you are aware of that method and you are using that method consciously. Okay, just focusing on that, you are not using that any method, any technique in the research haphazardly, and you know what will happen or what will the consequence of that particular method, a particular stage in your research. Okay, so we always focus on that conscious decision that you need to make while conducting a research. Okay, so let's go for other answer also. Okay, let's go for other answer also. We are always obtaining the responses from these two guys only. Okay, so let's hope for other also, because today we are going to complete some theoretical aspect. Okay, we are going to complete the theoretical aspect. In Monday class we'll discuss about the research proposal that you need to prepare for this assignment part. Okay, so let's involve on this class. And since our main focus, okay, whatever you do, our main focus of the research is to collect the data. Eventually you are going to do is the collection of data, analyze the data, and based on that analysis you are going to confirm. Okay, you are going to confirm the statement that you have
Oh.
formulated or the answer for the research question that you have. Yes.
So can we say literature review or data collection technique?
uh, Literature review, if you if that is directed by your purpose. Okay, we do not directly say literature review as a data collection technique, but we can say that document review or archival review, that can be the data collection technique based on the report or literature. And that literature review that you are looking, okay, that mainly focus on collection of secondary data. Okay, collection of the secondary data, that means data that has been already been published on other source or something. Okay, we'll discuss that part also. There are two types of data that we focus. Okay, and these are mainly associated with the primary data. Primary data means collecting from source of information. Okay, we need to collect the data from source of information. If you are not sure with the reliability and authenticity of the data that is available in different source of articles, journal, newspaper, as you say in literature, that kind of collection is also available, which is called the secondary data. That is the secondary data. If you are looking for data on the past literature, then that is called the secondary data. Okay, directly reviewing the literature we do not call it as a data collection method. Okay, that is the collection of data using secondary method, document review. Yes, yes, that is the part. And we do that document review for collection of secondary data. Means primary data, from the source of information you are getting that first hand information from the participant or your observant. Okay, but secondary data mainly focus on that kind of data which has already been collected for one purpose by other researcher. Okay, now you are using that data in your context. Okay, suppose the Central Bureau of Statics. Okay, Central Bureau of Statics collect the different types of data, different variety of data are being collected by the Central Bureau of Statics. Now you can use that data and analyze accordingly to show the new meaning of that data. You can do in that way also. Okay, so that kind of data that you collect from the other source of literature, which is the document review, and that is called the secondary data. Okay, data collection technology, which include the interview, observation, is basically observation, interview, questionnaire, document review, and focus group mainly. Okay, these are enough. And we basically use the observation, yes, interview, and questionnaire, and sometimes the document review also. If you are doing the comparative study, then you might need for the secondary data. Okay, the secondary data that has been already been published. So for that, it is necessary. So you are let's start with the discussion. Okay, we see that there are from first response that we have obtained. Okay, there are different data collection technique like interview, observation, questionnaire, survey. Survey we do not now include on data collection technique. As you see, survey is the research strategy. Okay, survey is the research strategy, and literature review is some that is we can distinct now. We can distinct between the survey and literature review, which are not the data collection technique. Okay, so survey also we do not put on data collection technique because survey we have studied as a research strategy. Most of them are using the survey questionnaire as a data collection technique. Okay, but why when we study the standard books, okay, that survey is the research strategy, not the data collection technique. And for your research you have chosen the questionnaire and the literature review. Okay, that is the document review as the primary and secondary data. Okay, you are collecting both kind of data from primary and the secondary. Okay, it's okay. And technique research, because it is one of the effective method of data collection method during this pandemic situation. Also I am very much familiar with those technique. Okay, one is the reason that we have chosen the questionnaire as the data collection technique is you need to collect the data effectively from the large number of population in short period of time, and you can administer that questionnaire using different technique. We'll discuss that part. Okay, and so, and another thing, it is effective in your context. Okay, that is also the reason that you have chosen that data collection technique. Again we move on second answer. uh, Now we'll move on the second questions. Okay, we already know that the data collection technique, interview, questionnaire, observation, focus group, these are the main or highly used data collection technique. And you have most of you have used the questionnaire because the project is focusing on survey type of research, and the title indicate that you need to confirm whether your participant is distracted or whether your participant are being benefited by the use of technology. Yes, so you are getting answer from the participant. So basically it focus on asking the question to the participant is basic fundamental thing. But there also you have flexibility to adapt the observation, or you can flexibility to adapt the interview or something like that. Yes, that you can adapt. But if you use the questionnaire also, it's okay for that uh, context. Okay, but now in the context of research you should be more flexible. Okay, more flexible. If your research is based on the survey type of research, you are confirming the certain thing based on the response of the participant, then you focus on this kind of data collection technique, which is the questionnaire. Okay, and other method, you need to try some other method also regarding the observation. Okay, if you are, if you know or if you can. Okay, because basically observing the parameter, okay, observing the parameter of the participant or other person. Okay, other person might be one of the best data collection technique to understand the phenomena on its natural setting. Okay, if you observe something without interventing that participant or the respondent that you have selected, then you are going to collect the data on its natural setting. Okay, so that kind of natural setting environment gives you the true information of that situation or phenomena. Okay, so we practice to use other data collection technique also in this research. Okay, if you can. Okay, we are focusing on some different technique to be applied on this particular research because we want to know what are the different consequences that we can obtain from using the different technique. Okay, we use the variety of technique, we see the result, and we confirm that okay, this method is suitable in this context and this is not. So that can will be the learning for you in your research. Okay, so questionnaire easy to answer and cheaper. Yes, that is the thing, because you can collect the response for the questionnaire through emails, through interview, through telephone, or any means. Okay, so for collecting the data in short period of time with a large number of population, questionnaire is the best data collection technique. Okay, but it is always combined with other method also. Whether you are aware or not, questionnaire can be combined with the other method like the interview. Okay, interview also it is basically combined with that also. Okay, Madhavacharya, you have written. Okay, you are as you conduct. Okay, so you say the interview, and while you interview with a certain group of population, then you need to be sure on one thing is that you are going to ask the predefined set of question to your participant, predefined set of question to the participant, or you are just interacting with the participant, and in the meantime, with the response that you have obtained from your participant, you will ask the question. That is the two thing. Okay, you are predetermined, you have the predetermined questions, you will ask that. If you do not have that kind of things, then you need to make the questions instantly while interviewing the person. You can do both ways. Okay, you can do both ways. Yes, most of you have used the questionnaire because it basically focus on that part. Yes. And since questionnaire and the survey, okay, survey has the, as we discussed, survey is the reliable method of research strategy because it focus uh, on collection of the quantitative as well as it has the flexibility. It has the flexibility to collect the qualitative data, and it is easy to use, and you need not to understand more of that is strategy. Okay, if you have the certain respondent or the participant, you can simply form the set of questionnaire, okay, and which indicate the predefined set of answer. You can ask that, and you can categorize that answer and draw conclusion. It is easy for collection, also easy for analysis also. Okay, so based on that survey, the questionnaire has been used most frequently. Okay, it is economical, it is quick, and it contains both open-ended and closed-ended question which can collect the qualitative and quantitative data. And with the help of questionnaire, we can get the result very convenient, as we can compare the answer with the help of chart. Yes, that is the thing. Yes. So, and this in this crucial time, okay, in this crucial time, there is no time, other technique might not be suitable in this current context, because you can observe the phenomena going to its natural setting. Okay. And you cannot, other method are there. You can use the secondary data. Okay, if you are working on some comparative study and finding the effectiveness on certain thing, okay, then at that time it is best to use the secondary data also. Okay, it is always suggest to use secondary data, because that will give you the reference for your research, that will provide you the reference, and based on your learning or based on your exploration, you can confirm, okay, whether I have done the right thing or not. Okay, based on the comparative data, the the data which are a result. Okay, you can focus on both things, the data and the result that have been obtained on other research. Okay, you can do in both ways. So basically combining the primary and secondary data and combining the different data collection technique will result in the robust data collection method that you need to apply in your research, because the always the single method might not fit in your research, because the research question that you have formulated, okay, this research question you have formulated, if it is basically the simple quantitative research, then it one or two specific method can help you. But according to the inquiry that you are making in a research or the curiosity that you have, there might need other technique. Okay, you need to look on that part also. Now from looking on, you have to see the other technique whether they are suitable or not. You think that questionnaire is suitable, you have already applied that thing, but you have to also think that whether the other method or any their new method that has been developed while collecting the data in this context, if there is anything, you can apply that method and see the result. Okay, that can also act as the research. Okay, if you apply certain new method in your research and study the consequence of that method, that is also the research. Okay, you can do that way also. So let's move on to the slide. Okay, we have already discussed the different technique. So based on the data, okay, based on the data, there are different data collection method we use. There are two types of data, source of data. We mainly focus on source. Okay, I need to categorize this as a source. And types of data, I need to categorize as the quantitative data and qualitative data. Okay, so based on the source, we have two source of data. One is primary source, and another is secondary source. Okay, so primary source are those which are collected afresh and for the first time, and thus happen to be original in character and known as the primary data or the primary source. Okay, and in secondary are those which have been collected by someone else and which have already been passed through the statistical process as known as secondary data. We have already collected data for their purpose and analyzed according to the necessity of them. Okay, it's a necessity of their research requirement. That kind of data is secondary data. Now if we are going to use the secondary data, okay, use of the secondary data, then you have to think of the different factor. Okay, we'll study at the end of the slide also the reliability, validity, the inquiry that you are making. Okay, that things need to be considered while collecting the data using secondary source. Okay, so basically collection of the primary data, there are several methods of collecting the primary data. Okay, so let's focus. There are mainly I am discussing about the observation, interview, and the questionnaire. Okay, and you can and the document review in the secondary data. Focus group also you can study, okay, by yourself, because these are not frequently used in our context, because they are mostly used on the social science, where the people make a group of 8 to 12 person or respondent, okay, and they discuss on the particular problem and collect the data from that issue or the discussion. Okay, so focus group is mainly associated with the qualitative data, uh, and it is always the solution oriented or problem oriented, sorry, problem oriented, to find the particular solution for that set of problem. Okay, so that focus group is also one of the data collection technique, and you can study by yourself. Okay, most of the case we do not use, okay, that data collection method. So mostly use are the observation, questionnaire, and interview that we use in our research. Okay, and document review for secondary data. Okay, document review for secondary data or secondary source of information. So in observation method, okay, it's just observing the phenomena. There are different ways we can observe the phenomena. Okay, so the basic definition we start. Observation method is a method under which data from the field is collected with the help of observation by the observer or by personally going to the field. Okay, so if you choose the observation method, you are playing a role of observer, and you are viewing or observing the phenomena from some perspective. Okay, so from which angle that you are looking, that is from the data that you are trying to get, okay, or obtain. So you have set the certain criteria or parameter on which you are going to collect the data. Okay, some behavior analysis. In the context of some behavior analysis, suppose uh, for the children below the age of 10, okay, below the age of 10, whether they are being addicted by excessive use of technology or not, how we can confirm that part? If you ask the question to the participant, can you obtain in that context? The 16 to 19 people is or above 16 can answer the questionnaire. But if we are collecting the data to confirm that whether the children are being affected by excessive use of technology or not, okay, below the age of 10, then what might be the suitable data collection technique? Observation might be, okay, in that context, because you need to observe the behavior of the children below the age of 10, and you are going to confirm whether they are being um, addicted or they are being affected or not. Okay, because they are not able to answer the question that you have prepared, I think, because they do not have the ability to understand the question at that level. Okay, so the observation method is best suitable in that context. Okay, and same topic, if the different age group from the 16 to 25, the questionnaire will be most effective, because they can now understand the question, they can observe their own phenomena, and they can answer your questions. Okay, so we need to think of that method in regarding to the context also, context that we are using. Okay, the objective advantage, as you see, these are the advantage and disadvantage. I'm not focusing on this part. Okay, because is mainly the advantage is the subjective bias eliminated. Researcher gets current information independent to respondent variables. Subjective bias eliminate means you are not interacting. You can interact also, intervene also. There is type of observation, but you are not asking any type of question to the participant. Okay, so at that time, it might eliminate the subjective bias. That is, if certain questions in questionnaire, what will happen if one question will be eliminated by your respondent, then in analysis part it might hamper. Okay, so that might be the case in questionnaire, but that is eliminated in observation. So in disadvantage, it is expensive method, but because you need to expense more time, yes, more time consuming, limited information, because you are getting the data based on your variables or parameters that you have set. Okay, you are not interacting with the participant or the observant participant in your research. Okay, so unforeseen factor may be interfere with the observational tasks, means while you observe the certain phenomena, there might be other contexts that arise. Okay, there might people or the some that context might think in different ways while you observe the phenomena. Okay, so and respondent opinion cannot be recorded on the certain subject. That is the case. So type of observation, there are four. Okay, we mainly discuss on four. One is structure observation, and another is unstructured, and second one is participant and non-participant. Okay, we mainly focus. There is control and uncontrolled also. That we need not to study. No need to study in our context. Okay, basically this will work for us. Structure observation: when the observation is done by categorizing the style of recording, the observed information, standardized condition of observation, definition of the unit to be observed, selection of the relevant data of observation, then it is structural observation. When the observation without any thought before observation, then it is unstructured observation. So regarding structure and unstructured term, it can be used with the interview also and other method also. Right? Yes. So what you understand in structure observation, you are fully prepared. You are fully prepared in which parameter that you are going to observe and record the data. You are fixed. Okay, and you move on to that field and observe the phenomena or pattern and record the data. In structure observation, you are fully prepared. In unstructured observation, you are not prepared for any kind of those standard. Okay, any kind of those standard. You simply move on to the field, and now based on the observation you record. Okay, whatever comes in your mind, you record the data. Okay, that is the unstructured observation. You have not any predefined standard how to observe the phenomena. Okay, in structure you have predefined set of standard in what way you are looking on that phenomena or context. Okay, so that is associated with structure observation, and another is unstructured observation. So another is the participant. Are you clear? If you are not clear in any aspect, you can ask me. Okay, I'm moving because you know that part. If in any context, if you are confused, then you can please ask me. Okay, so then this participant and non-participant observation. Okay, so when the observer is the member of the group which he is observing, then it is the participant observation. Okay, in participant observation, researcher can record the natural behavior of group. Researcher can verify the truth of the statement given by the informant in the context of questionnaire. Means suppose a doctor a doctor wants to know, with the in charge of the hospital wants to know how the service will be delivered in our hospital. If he wants to know, and he act as a role of patient, and he lie down on the bed. Okay, he lied on the bed, and based on the facility that he obtained, okay, based on the facility that is obtained, he will record the data. Means he is taking part on the research to analyze the certain behavior. Okay, he's taking the part of the research. That is the participant. Whether the if the observer is taking the part on that particular research and experiencing by himself. Okay, based on that particular phenomena, then that is called the participant observation. Okay, you are observing as a part of research by yourself. Okay, and you are looking to yourself for that context. So non-participant observation, when the observer is observing people without giving any information to them, then it is non-participant observation. Now you are separated from the research. Okay, you are just observing the other people, and you are not informing anything with that participant. That it might be the non-intervention. Okay, intervention and non-intervention is also there. It is very focused on the non-intervention. You are not intervening the person or people that you are observing. Okay, so interview method. Okay, basically the interview method is combined with the other method also. Okay, interviewing that can be done. Okay, if basically when you say that, okay, whether the interview is associated with the qualitative research method or quantitative research method. If that somebody says, then it can be associated with both. Okay, interview data collection technique can be associated with both data quantitative and qualitative research method. Okay, so this basically involves collecting the data. Okay, collecting the data using the presentation or the oral verbal stimuli and reply in terms of oral verbal response. You are asking the question in oral format and you are getting the response in same format. Okay, so that is the interview. This is the oral verbal communication. So there are three types of interview we basically look. One is the structured interview, semi-structured, and unstructured. So as we have discussed on observation, okay, structure means you are fully prepared what question that you are going to ask to the respondent. Semi-structure, you have set the certain format of the structure interview, but you can move or divert from that set of questionnaire. Okay, in structure you just ask the predefined set of question. In semi structure you ask the predefined set of question along with some other question that might arise within the interview process. Okay, and in unstructured interview you are not prepared for the predefined set of questions. According to the response that you have obtained from the participant, you ask the next question. Okay, so these are the personal interview, structured interview, and unstructured interview. Okay, predefined set of question and no predefined set of questions that are used on unstructured. Okay, so can you please read this interview for 1 minute? Okay, I'll come. I'll take 1 minute break. Okay, please study this slide and we'll discuss. So let's move on other also. Okay, I think you understand. Anything that I need to explain in this slide? If there is anything, then you can please ask me. Okay. So these are the merit of personal interview. Okay, and these are the demerit of interview. Since the main part that associated with the interview, it takes a longer duration of time than other method. Yes, so that's the thing. Now moving on to the questionnaire. Okay, so you know that the technique of data collection in which each person is asked to respond to the same set of questions in the predetermined order. Okay, so that is the beauty of the questionnaire. You are going to ask the same question to different participant. Okay, so types of questionnaire. Okay, you need to, we have discussed this part also, whether you remember or not. Okay, so in this way questionnaire is always combined with the interview. Okay, most frequently combined with the interview method, in a research or survey. Okay, that can be done in the context, but it can be administered in independent way also. Okay, as you see, there are two methods in which we can administer the questionnaire. Okay, can you please see this? And can you see the difference between the self-administered and interview administered? Can you see the differences? Can you find any difference between the self-administered and interview administered? So self-administered and interview administered, what is indicate? In self-administered method, okay, self-administered method, what it indicate that the respondent or the participant of your research will write the answer for your questionnaire. Okay, you simply print or you simply email that questionnaire and participant will answer that questionnaire. Okay, that is indicated with the self-administered. That self-administered indicate you are getting the response from the participant hand. Okay, and in the interview administer, what you need to do, you are going to ask the question in predefined order to the participant and you are going to record. Okay, you are going to record the response of the participant. That is the interview administer. Okay, in self administer, you simply supply the question in different mode, in into email or in post, or you can simply move on to the home and give that question, and later on you are going to go there to collect the data. Okay, and all the responses are given by that participant. That is a self-administer. In interview administer, you need to ask the question to the participant and you need to record the response. Okay, so in this way you can conduct the questionnaire. Okay, you can use any method, whether it is self-administered method or interview administered method. You can use any mechanism while collecting the data using the questionnaire. So the merit of questionnaire is the locus, even the geographical area is large to cover, because we can conduct, as you see that we can conduct the questionnaire using the emails or post or any mechanism. Okay, any mechanism can be used to administer the questionnaire. So which increases the coverage area and decreases the cost. Answer are in response or so free from bias, means uh, you are focusing on the predefined set of questions. So they give their answer on that particular options that you have set for that question. Okay, so that decreases the biasness on the response. Okay, but that is not always the case, because if the participant have flexibility to omit the questions. Okay, if the participant has flexibility to omit the question which you have indicated on your research ethics form. Okay, whether the participant can omit the questions or not, that is the ethical concern. Okay, if they can omit the questions, then at that time there might be some biasness that arise within your questionnaire. Okay, so you have to think on that part. Adequate time to think for the answer. If you email the questionnaire or if you give the questionnaire through the uh, post or something like that, then the respondent have enough time to think for the answer. Okay, and large sample can be used to result are more reliable. That is a large coverage means this for generalization purpose. Okay, so demerit, low rate of return of duly filled questionnaire. That is the demerit, because you are emailing the participant, but the participant might not respond, or only responds the partially response. Okay, you can obtain. So that is one demerit, and that lies within the questionnaire, and it can be used when the respondent is educated and cooperative. Okay, so for certain levels only the questionnaire are meant to use. Okay, for certain level, as we have discussed. Okay, those who are able to understand your question, we can only ask question to that participant. Okay, so that is one demerit. And it is inflexible, means suppose you have predefined set of question. Okay, you have predefined set of question, and when you ask the certain question to the participant, instantly you cannot change the question. You cannot change. If there is any sort new responses that you have obtained, also there is no place to record that response. Okay, so in that context it is inflexible. There is no flexibility to change in the questions when you are collecting the data. Okay, omission of some questions, that is the indicated by low rate of written, and difficult to know the expected respondent had filled the form or it is been filled by someone else. So this is the main demerit of questionnaire is this. Okay, you cannot say the questionnaire has been responded by the person that you are intended to obtain the data, or he has asked the help for other. Okay, that might be the reason. So this thing you need to be confirmed. Okay, it is difficult to know, but you need to be confirmed that the questionnaire that you have prepared is fully given filled by, or if the answer is given by your intended participant. Okay, you need to be confirmed that part. In interview administer, it is not the problem. Okay, in self administer, it is the problem. So main aspect is two things we need to consider: question sequence and formatting and ordering. Okay, in question sequence, these are the in which format that we need to make the order of the questions. Okay, that simple thing we discussed already in previous classes also. Okay, question sequence should be clear, smooth. Okay, it should be simple, easy, and it should be, last point I need to consider, general to specific questions should be a sequence of the question. General means that questions would might not take part on the analysis. Okay, the questions that might not take part on the analysis, but it is helpful in a research to make the participant interested in your research. Okay, so we need to always ask the general question to make the participant interested in your research, so that the specific question that are designed for the response, okay, that you can ask on the second level, so that the response participant in its response mode, okay, he can answer any of those questions. So if you make certain interest for the participant, you can move on to the specific question. Okay, so that is the basic sequence that you need to follow. And formation and ordering, uh, the order that you choose while writing the questionnaire or preparing the questions on the questionnaire should be simple. It should avoid the ambiguity. Okay, and it should also avoid the word which is emotional danger or something like that. Okay, something that are emotional blackmailing type of questions, or certain danger that might be associated with the participant. That kind of questions need to be avoided while we make the questions. Okay, so now moving on to the collection of secondary data. Okay, moving on to the collection of secondary data that are already available. Publication of central, state, local government, technical, trade journal, any books, magazines, newspaper, or the public report, whatever it is. Okay, whatever authenticate source it is, that kind of data available on that source are called the secondary source. Okay, and based on your necessity you can select the data. Okay, based on your necessity, which part of the data is necessary for your context, you can simply select that set of questions, and you can choose in your research. Okay, that is the thing. So can you see the slide, this collection of secondary data? Yes. Yes or no? Are you able to see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so collection of secondary data. Okay, that data which has been already published in other source of information, or that simply focus on the document review. Okay, document review can act as the source of secondary data. So based on the necessity of your research, you are going to search on the different document or different literature or different article. Okay, and that overall process is called the document review process. And you need to collect the data that is necessary based on the research question that you have formulated, or there might be the certain context where you do the comparative study. Okay, there might be the certain things that you need to for the comparative study, and there might be for certain authenticity. Okay, suppose the AI based biometric system whose accuracy is 90%, and you are building a system whose accuracy is 91%. So you can say that the accuracy has been improved. So for that comparative result also, you need to collect the data or the result from the other source of information. Okay, so that is mainly focused on secondary data. So before using the secondary data, researcher must check the three part: reliability, suitability, and adequacy, whether the data that you collect is adequate for your research or not, whether that is suitable or not, whether the data is reliable or not. Okay, so if you reliability answer issue will be addressed by the authenticated publication site or something. Okay, if it is published on the authenticated journal or article, you can say the data are reliable. If the publication of the research paper or the thesis that has not been published in authenticated source, but you obtain from the unreliable source, okay, then that kind of data cannot be act as reliable for your research. And suitability, that is indicated by your research question or any purpose of your research or study. Okay, adequacy of data, whether that will be enough for you in analysis part and to obtain the result from that analysis or not. Okay, that thing you need to indicate. So, and selection of the appropriate method of data collection would be determined by this factor. Okay, this factor. So there is not always the same data collection method that is suitable in all contexts or same context. Okay, you can have the flexibility to adapt the different data collection method, and you can check the result of that particular data collection method or technique on that situation or scenario. Okay, so basic parameter that determines the selection of appropriate data collection method in your research are the nature and scope of your inquiry, availability of funds. Okay, since there are certain method which takes the longer duration of time and investment is also more. Okay, the time factor and precision required, the accuracy that you require. Okay, so based on this part, based on this four factor, that you need to select the appropriate data collection method. Okay, so these are the things you need to consider for your research. So this is for the data collection. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can simply ask me. Okay, if you have any questions regarding the data collection, since we have already covered this part on your project also, yes. If you have not any questions, then I will take the attendance. Okay, and we'll conclude our course here on. So Aishma,
Pre- Present, sir.
Bobin, Vivesh, Pikita Sharma,
Present, sir.
Dawa, Dipendra, Ganesh Chaudhary, Janice Karki,
Present, sir.
Krijan Pokhrel,
Present, sir.
Madhav Acharya,
Yes, sir.
Nischal Sai, Meghan Dongol, Meghan,
Present, sir.
Nischal Sai, Om Koirala, Rahul,
Yes, sir.
Raksha,
Present, sir.
Samarpan,
Present, sir.
Smriti,
Present, sir.
Sohel, Srijan,
Present, sir.
Angie,
Present, sir.
Ashish Panthi,
Yes, sir.
Apeksha,
Present, sir.
Aviral, Belina,
Present, sir.
Vivek, Vishal,
Present, sir.
Chandan,
Yes, sir.
Cyrus, Preet,
Present, sir.
Muna,
Present, sir.
Neeraj Shrestha,
Present, sir.
Nischal Bania,
Yes, sir.
Nishan Basnet, Praveen Dahal, Prince Bohra, Pushparaj, Ram Gopal, Rubina, Sahil Shrestha, Sonam,
Present, sir.
uh, Susan Karki, Suraj,
Yes, sir.
Suresh Patrai, Suresh, Suyog,
Yes, sir.
Suyog Patrai, present,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anush Adhikari,
Present, sir.
Angela,
Present, sir.
Ades,
Present, sir.
Ajay, Ajay Mohato. So if you have any questions, okay, in Monday we'll discuss the research proposal, and I think your assignment will be released soon. Or have you seen me released or not? I have told Nirajan sir to release the assignment, okay, and given the format for that also. So if he release that assignment, we'll discuss that part on Monday also, okay. So if not also, I'll give you the sample assignment, okay, that I've released to other section. So based on that also we can discuss the assignment part and what you need to cover on this assignment and what you need to write on your research proposal. We'll discuss that part on Monday, okay.